Well, welcome to this week's show for Drawn to Whitetails. I'm Drew Ramage. On this week's show, we're going to go back to last weekend, the last day of gun season here in Kentucky, November 29th, and a hunt that I had in a ground blind. We had 3 to 5 inches of rain that weekend. This was day number 2 of a full day rain event, and I decided to jump into a blind overlooking a partially standing bean field. The afternoon had been pretty slow, and as you've seen probably from the journal, I decided to do a quick journal entry summarizing the season, and didn't think we were going to see anything because I had a guy riding in a creek that was 2 foot deep in water for 30 minutes prior to that. But anyway, I started that journal, and I'm going to let you see how the hunt unfolds right here. Well, figured I'd do a journal entry to wind down the basically November and the Kentucky rifle season for 2015. Hunted very hard, but was never able to get after or even see a mature buck. I've been hunting since basically November 1st. Went back to work there a couple weeks toward the end of November, but I've been off the last 4 days. But hunted very hard. Have not laid eyes on what I call a mature shooter. I have seen one 4-pointer that I know was at least 4.5 years old, if not older. He just was not caliber deer I was looking for. With deer season, or this portion of the season winding down, the rut's kind of winding down, I'm going to start focusing more on the afternoons unless I get something on camera that's in morning pattern. But we're going to be switching our focus to 2 things. First of all, with the orange coming off and us going back to bow hunting, now's the time to take inventory, see what made it through the Kentucky rifle season. Second, we're going to let the pressure subside on these deer and let them get into a more stable pattern that we can potentially hunt them on. And going back to pattern, these deer are going to be switching from the rut to more of a feed pattern to get ready for the winter. And I've got a shooter in front of me right now. Well, I was doing my journal entry for tonight and look up and there's a shooter standing right in front of me. Just trying to get the camera on him. Trying to get him in the scope, trying to do everything. And I don't know if I hit him or not. He ran up there about 200 yards and stood there on the hill. He didn't look yet. This is a deer we saw earlier at the end of October, 1st of November. I know exactly who he is. We've had a guy riding in the creek behind here, and I didn't think there was any chance of us seeing a deer, and he just walks out. I had the camera too far from the window because I was doing my interview, and I wasn't ready, and I think I rushed the shot. I did so hard this year. I had to come down to crunch time and miss him, and especially potentially on camera. You gotta freaking kid me. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm gonna rewind the footage. See what happened. Well, I'll review that footage. It was a clean miss. I shot right underneath him. Between getting the camera together and trying to get on him, make sure he's in the screen, and the camera was too far back so I couldn't see the screen. Anyway, I just missed. I guess I pushed a little bit forward and shot right underneath him. But I've got an 8-pointer and a spike just walked by since that shot. And I've got some more deer coming into the field, so we're going to sit back and see if we can redeem ourselves.
If not, I had an opportunity. All right, stay tuned. Let's see if we can get another big deer out in the field. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it looks like he may be coming back. Holy crap. Let's see where he is. That looks like him, guys. He may be coming back. I'm in this blind. He probably couldn't tell exactly where the sound came from, but I guarantee you he'll tell it the next time. Come on down in this field. That's the 8. This got kickers or splits on his G2. He was in here just a second ago. Where did that big deer go? There he is. He's coming over here and running that 8 off. Well, that big buck went up on the hill, came back out, and there were 3 or 4 does up there, along with that 2.5-year-old 8 with kickers off his G2s. I believe he's a 9-point. Anyway, he chased him off into the woods, and they haven't been back out. We'll keep a watchful eye out, but disappointing. I mean, great encounter. I enjoy that, but I just hate that I blew the shot. This filming hunts is tough, especially when you're by yourself. So hats off to Paul McBride and Benji for what they did. I just had everything positioned wrong, and it looks like I rushed the shot, maybe leaned into it, and shot right underneath him. This spot will set up nicely for the late season, though. Going back to finishing up my journal earlier. We're going to be focusing on the food, and I believe this spot will be dynamite. Got some standing bean in here, so hopefully it'll be good. Well, I'll update you if anything else pops out here in a minute.
Well, I had a great hunt last Sunday. I wish I could have sealed the deal on that big 9-pointer, but I have not shot my gun yet to see if it's off. I'm hoping that it is and it wasn't a shooter. It's been several years since I've missed a deer, but you know, if you're hunting, you're going to miss a deer here and there. But I was rushed a little bit on everything, and it just happens. But I've got confidence going forward. He was all over my cameras this past week. He never really knew what happened. Came back out after the shot. So hopefully we can catch back up to him here in the next week or two. Again, hope you have enjoyed the show. Get your covert cameras out if you get a chance, and take inventory of the deer that made it through your season. Also try to find out which food sources they're hitting and what time they're hitting and the trails they're using to get to that food source. And maybe if you're like me and still hadn't filled your tag, you can get that done. Next week we have Joel Trevelyan. We got a hunt that he had a couple days ago, and he was able to finally shrug off all of his close encounters and get the 1-eyed 10-pointer on the ground. So next week we're going to bring you that hunt. Well, we hope you enjoyed this week's show. Again, thank you for joining us. And as we always say, the season never ends. Well, after I did the conclusion of the show, Ted Allen, he hunts down there beside me where I shot this deer last week, and he was fortunate enough to harvest him tonight. It's a deer we call Kicker 8 from last year. He was a 3.5-year-old deer. He's got a kicker right here on his G2. And he was all over the cameras last year. We don't even know how he survived last year. But he put an arrow in him earlier this year, and the deer survived.
September 11th.
September 11th. And anyway, I hadn't seen him. He's right across the creek, but kind of lived on you pretty much.
Yeah, he lived there all summer.
But anyway, I missed him last week. We found the scar, it appears, to where I may have grazed his belly. And he was all over my camera all week long. So we knew that, I knew that he had a great chance. I didn't hunt down there tonight, I hunted somewhere else, but he went in there and he was able to get him. So
yeah, I went in this morning, or today, about 12 o'clock, pulled the card. He had been on camera all week. Nothing last couple of days, and I went in there on a long shot this evening, and luckily got a hair in him about 4 o'clock.
Well, he's had a few things flung at him or shot at him, but finally got him. So 4.5-year-old, we believe, maybe 5.5.
For sure 4.5.
Yeah, but he was a warrior. He's broke up every tip just about.
Everything he's got just about. Broke bow.
Well, one other story, side note, last year we were hunting the same kind of deer.
Yeah.
We kind of hunt the same deer, and I was in there well before dark on a full moon night, and I saw the deer we were after cross me like at 5:45 in the morning. Well, he pulled up, and then he walked out there and he shot him at like 6:05.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Same thing, but
We kind of share our knowledge on these farms. We hunt different farms, but we kind of share our knowledge. So it works better to work as a team than as adversaries, as some people do. So
absolutely.
all right, very good. Well, that's what happened to him. So we'll have to find another one to get after now, which is fine.
Yep. Let him grow for next year.
Yep.